The most undertrained muscle for runners is the tibialis anterior, even though it's the #1 reason why people get shin splints. Because when your tibialis muscle is weak and you land in your running stride, then instead of absorbing the force and being fine, it does damage to the muscles, tendons, and even ligaments. So most runners will avoid their shins in an attempt to recover, but we've seen after helping hundreds of people back from shin splints that confronting this muscle and building strength through it is your quickest route to recovery. Because avoiding the muscle may help short term, but you're just making yourself weaker and tighter the more you rest. And the only way to fix it long term is by building enough strength and mobility so that tightness never happens in the first place and you don't get shin splints. It starts in the first 8 weeks of unlock, and it's easier than ever to start making progress because it literally requires no equipment. 2 sets of 25 reps twice a week is what we do in unlock. If this is too hard for you, then move your feet closer to the wall. There's less range of motion and it makes the movement easier. But if this is too easy, then you can just walk your feet further out, which will require you to pick up your feet higher and it'll make it harder. Find a level that challenges you and do all of your reps at that level. There is a pain-free level for anyone. Then in the next 8 weeks of rebuild, we're building our strength in the shins under fatigue. Because in unlock, we had as much rest time between sets as you need, but in rebuild, we set a timer, 3 minutes, and you're doing 20 reps every minute for those 3 minutes. So the only rest that you're getting is after your set's done, before the next minute starts. We have 2 options for loading when we're in rebuild. You can either continue building on a wall, just like you did in unlock, or you can start using a tibialis bar, because here you know exactly how strong you're getting and it's through a full stretch in the ankle. To understand why we use a timer and why we're training our shins under fatigue by using the timer to limit our rest time, let's look at running. When you run, you're constantly flexing and extending your shin, just like in the tibialis raises, but you never get a full rest until your running session is done. So when we run, we're constantly using our shins while they're already fatigued, and not building strength through them while they're fatigued will mean that when they're fatigued and you're using them when you run, they're more likely to get injured. And that is what separates the runners who always get injured from the runners that never do. So our time in unlock, then our time in rebuild, prepares us for the final phase of the 8 weeks in targets, where we have a clear target for each new exercise. The target for our tibialis raises is 20 reps with 20% of your body weight loaded on your shin through a full range of motion, keeping your quads flexed the entire time, so it's only your shin that's being worked. You'll notice that in these loaded tibialis raises, we're strengthening out of a full stretch in the ankle. Then if you compare that to the wall version, you never really get this full stretch, which is why long term, if you want the benefits of protected shins, I do eventually recommend progressing to loaded reps, because this teaches your shins to absorb force in a fully lengthened position, which is what we need when we run. But during your time in targets, there is no rush to our target of 20 reps with 20% of your body weight loaded. And we've seen that naturally people can progress at about 1 to 2% of their body weight per week in additional load. But we found that that's only true if you follow the full route from unlock to rebuild to targets, addressing the weak links around your shins as well. Because the #1 cause of people not progressing as fast as they could is by skipping steps and trying to go too far too fast. This route is specifically helpful for runners because we overdevelop our calves naturally, wanting to be able to go faster when we run, but we completely ignore the layer of protection that is balancing out that strength in extension with strength through flexion. And the only way to guarantee that you'll never overload your shins and get shin splints again is by getting strong under more load. In running ability, we don't only strengthen your shins, because only focusing on the area that's injured currently will make you blind to all of the other weak links in your body that's contributing to that injury in the first place. If your feet are tight, then your shins will have to work overtime, so we spend time lengthening the bottom of the foot. If your knees are weak, then more of that damage goes down into your shins instead, so we spend time strengthening our knees through the same range of motion that we run from. If your calves are too tight, then you'll always be limited in how much strength you can build on the opposite side through the shin, so we spend time lengthening and strengthening through the calf. And if your hip flexors are weak, then when you run, you're gonna be picking up and dropping your leg with less control, which puts more damage through the shin unnecessarily. You don't have to be someone that always gets injured when you run anymore, and you can become someone that has built up enough evidence in their body that they're strong enough to handle the running they do. Because in unlock, we start our journey with no equipment, so anyone can start. Then in rebuild, we're building strength with the option of equipment within a time limit, so we're building strength under fatigue. And in targets, we're chasing clear goals with precise weights on each new exercise, which are proven to add more layers of protection through our body that will protect us against the damage we take when running.